Calling to order the regular meeting of the Wheeling Plan Commission for Wednesday, January 2nd, 2020. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioner Blanova.
I'm here.
Commissioner Sprague.
Here.
Commissioner Kalis is present. Commissioner Yednick.
Present.
Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Commissioner Creech.
Present.
Chairman Johnson.
Here. Ms. Nyes, any changes to the agenda this evening?
No changes.
Citizens' concerns and comments. Do we have anyone that would like to speak on anything other than the firehouse, basically, tonight? Okay, moving on. We have no consent items, so items for review. We have docket number 2019-27A, Fire Station 23, a special use for a public safety facility. Docket 2019-27B, Fire Station 23, a variation to reduce building setback from 35 feet to 30 feet for a public safety facility. Docket number 2019-27C, Fire Station 23, variation to increase the maximum building height from 30 feet to 33 feet for a public safety facility. And docket number PC 19-24, Fire Station 23, major site plan and appearance review. These are all at 780 Wheeling Road. Ms. Nyes, anything? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I have a lot of words to read here.
Yeah.
This is a public hearing, so Village of Wheeling, property owner seeks the following associated with the construction of a new public safety facility and fire. I was like, should I stop? Facility for Fire Station 23 located at 780 Wheeling Road, which is zoned I-1, Light Industrial and Office District. Special use is required under Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code. Chapter 19-06, Commercial Districts, 19-10, Use Regulations and associated sections, in order to permit the construction of a new public safety facility for Fire Station 23. B, variation from Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19-07, Industrial Districts, Section 19.07.020, I-1, Light Industrial and Office District, and associated sections, to reduce the building setback from 35 feet to 30 feet along Wheeling Road for a new public safety facility for Fire Station 23, and variation from Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19-07, Industrial Districts, Section 19-07-020, I-1, Light Industrial and Office District, and associated sections, to increase the maximum building height from 30 feet to 33 feet for the new public safety facility for Fire Station 23. A special use, as defined by the zoning code, is a use of parcel of land that requires review and consideration before approval due to the potential for negative impacts on surrounding properties. In order to be considered for a special use, the petitioner is required to demonstrate through testimony to the Plan Commission at a public hearing that the requests meet the standards of the Village Code, including but not limited to how the proposed use will not damage the enjoyment or use of the surrounding properties. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides written statements meant to show that the requests meet the standards for special use as established by Title 19. The Commission chairperson will typically direct that these statements be entered into record without a full reading of them at the hearing. Based on the testimony and supporting materials submitted, the Plan Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to the Village Board. We also have variation. A zoning variation is intended to be a method of adjustment to equalize regulations where the zoning code has created an unnecessary hardship. A variation is designed to allow affected property owners the same rights and privileges that others enjoy in the same zoning district. In order to be granted a variation, a petitioner is required to demonstrate through testimony to the Plan Commission at a public hearing that their requests meet the standards of the Village Code, including but not limited to how their individual situation is unique or unusual. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides written statements meant to show that their request for variation meets the standards established in Title 19. The Commission chairperson will typically direct that these statements be entered into the record without a full reading of them at the hearing. Based on the testimony supporting the materials submitted, the Plan Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to the village board.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Nyes, anything to add at this point?
I just wanted to add that the petitioner's submittal and the staff report are part of this public hearing, and we're going to let them go ahead and do their presentation, but staff supports all 4 of the actions.
Thank you.
With that,
This is a public hearing, so I have to swear you in. Anyone that's going to be talking tonight,
Mike, raise your hand because you might be speaking.
just in case you step in. Do you swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. State your names, just for the record.
Keith MacIsaac, MACISAAC, Fire Chief for the Village of Wheeling. I'm serving as the petitioner this evening on this project. Before you tonight is a request to build a new fire station on a site that is currently being used as a fire station. The existing fire station at 780 South Wheeling Road was constructed in 1977, opened in 1978. At the time that building was designed for 3 people on duty at a time. It was also designed with no unisex or female capabilities in the building. We have since outgrown the building. Fire apparatus has grown larger. The needs for personnel there has grown. We currently have 5 personnel stationed at that facility now. We looked at remodeling that facility and putting an addition on that facility. And in looking at the cost benefits versus renovation costs and new, the decision was made by the village board to proceed with a tear down and rebuild of this facility. As pointed out in your packet, this is zoned I-1. Historically, fire stations are usually zoned in a B3 district. This zoning goes back to 1977. That's the reason behind the variance requests that are here tonight. The plans are right now, we would go from approximately a 6,700 square foot facility to 11,000 square foot approximately on the exact same site, moving the building very slightly further to the north or closer to the water tower and a little further away from the intersection. As asked for in the special use, the impact to the neighboring community would be exactly the same. Again, the same use, the same operations, same number of operations that are currently being operated out of that facility since 1978. We have provided notice to all of our neighboring affected parties. To date, I have not heard from any of them personally. I'm not aware of any conflicts that they may have. The building, some of the variants, it has to do, and I will go through them very briefly. In 1986, the village provided an extra right-of-way adjustment off of Wheeling Road to Cook County for intersection improvements that actually moved the recorded property line from 1977 further in on the property by 10 feet. So it's the reason for the variance that's there. It would basically be in the same approximate setback as the current fire station, with us building further back on the property towards the lake behind it and further closer to the water tower to the north. The height variation is due to the roof line. One of the things that we are doing, we did with the fire station when it was built 10 years ago on Milwaukee Avenue, is we've gone away from flat roofs because flat roofs in this environment tend to leak and do not hold up well. In order to get the proper pitch on the roof over the apparatus bay and the living quarters here, results in the center portion coming off of the apparatus bay section to basically be 3 feet higher than it would be in accordance with the I-1 zoning. Again, had this been B3 zoning, that would not have been a variation. So that it is, the only variation is in fact that only peak right there in the middle of the building. Tonight I have with me as my staff, Deputy Chief Mike McGreal, MCGREAL, and I have Ms. Jamie Zura, who will be making a presentation to you on the general appearance and materials of construction. She represents the 845 Design Group, which is the architectural firm that has been engaged by the Village of Wheeling to handle this particular project. Obviously, all three of us are here tonight to answer any questions as we go through this, if you should have any. Jamie?
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for having us tonight. So I'd like to start with the east and west elevations. This is the elevation, the east elevation that will be facing Wheeling Road. And we've added a significant amount of landscaping on this elevation because this will be more visible from the street. This area here to the south is the parking lot. There's some landscaping there that's also screening it a little bit. And I did pass out a couple of materials on that end. I don't know if they've made it. Okay, good.
They got to.
So they're heavy. I wanted you to feel that they're substantial. So we're planning on doing a stone water table with that fiber cement board material, and that's the base of the building. So this is that product that's being passed around, and those are also the columns. And then on the other sample that you have is the horizontal siding. That's also fiber cement siding, and that's that light beige color. We chose a lot of neutral colors just so that we could do a little bit more on this facade. So this is the horizontal siding. This vertical siding is the portion that's above the entrance, just to add a little bit of a contrast. It's also the fiber cement product. All have been selected from the same manufacturer for warranty purposes and then ease of installation. And then this sample is the vertical siding that we're proposing to go over the apparatus doors where we would put the signage for the building, which would also be a backlit number 23 for the station. The canopy over the front entrance is a resin product, which is this on there. And then the enclosure for the trash enclosure and the generator and air conditioning condensing unit enclosure would be a composite product, which is also on the board. That product. So the rear elevation, or the west elevation that faces Echo Lake, it does not really have very much landscaping, and that was on purpose to save money. There's minimal windows, just the windows that are shown are from the bunk room and then the day room, and there's a patio out there for grilling. So to save money, we decided to less is more on that elevation. Is there any questions, any of the materials? Let's keep going.
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, you should be able just to
Just
use
click?
the mouse, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Oops, I went too far.
Or just like scroll with it.
Yes. Okay. So these are the south and north elevations. This is the south elevation that would be facing Hintz Road. And again, there's a lot more landscaping on this area. This door was added to the kitchen area. This is the patio area that's also off the kitchen. And then this elevation is the north side that will be facing the water tower. So again, we made it very simple to save money and costs. There's some ventilation for the apparatus and a man door. But aside that, we did not want to do any landscaping on this side. Again, these are the materials selected: the accent panel, the standing seam roof, which would be what we're proposing on the roof for both the day space, the day living space, and the apparatus space. The vertical siding is a contrast, the wood siding, which is the horizontal, and then the stone veneer. And the glazing would be an anodized bronze glazing. What happened to this slide? There we go. So these are the 2D elevations, very similar to what you've seen before, but it actually calls out the materials. This is just more detail for you. And these are examples of the backlit numbers for the signage that we're proposing. And this is some samples of the fencing, different applications, but this is what we're proposing based on the heights and the location of the generator enclosure and the trash enclosure. As for lighting, most of the lighting will be these up and down lights that are throughout the building. On the front elevation, on the sides, in the patio, at the man door, any space where you would be entering and exiting the building. As for the parking lot pole lighting, they would be 20-foot tall lights, and there's 3 of them on the south end of the parking lot. And then this fixture is for the flagpoles, so this would be in ground. You wouldn't really see this unless you were right on top of it. As for the site plan, as the chief said, we flip-flopped the way the fire station and the parking lot are currently. So now the station is on the north end of the property, and then this is the apron into the apparatus, and then the parking lot is on the south end, with the landscaping on the south end of the building. No, where's the other? Oh, there we go, okay. And then the landscape plan shows it a little bit easier. So on the east end of the building, we have landscaping at the entrance, and this is the flagpole location. There's landscaping here. On the south end of the building, there's a little more landscaping, and then we decided to add some grasses on the east end of the parking lot as you enter. The idea with all the landscaping is we picked perennials and landscaping that once they set, there's really not much maintenance to them, so they wouldn't require sprinkler systems. They should be maintained basically just that first 12 months, and then maybe there's some watering here and there, but they'll flourish and everything will survive without a sprinkler system. So I think that's it. I'd like to take any of your questions.
All right. Let's start with Commissioner Blanova.
Thank you. I just have one quick question. Was that the trash enclosure fence made of?
It's a composite material. So if you want, I can actually bring you do you want to see the board?
No, now I see it, now I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
It's the same product that we used at the other village facilities.
Got it, makes sense. That's all, thank you.
Commissioner Sprague.
I think you've done a great job on designing this building. It looks very nice. I think it'll be a great addition to our town. I have no questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Kalis.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for the presentation. It looks great. I'm curious, first, I'm just looking at the zoning map, and you've mentioned that B3 is typically what firehouses are zoned under. I know this is engulfed in I-1, but there's I-1, I-2, there's all kinds of stuff all over. Is there a reason that we're asking for variations versus rezoning this plot?
Go ahead.
When this project started, we looked at going through a rezoning variation and thought the time would be an issue.
Okay.
So we felt it was better to go for the variation, come back later on if we chose to historically rezone this. But as you know, going through the rezoning process requires both hearings here at the board, eventually going to the county and recording various documents as well,
Okay.
and the delays. We are trying to get this project moving in 2020.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you for that. So then with I-1, there's a 30-foot height restriction. Is there a particular reason for that restriction? Does anybody know of that might be an issue? I mean, I get the pitched. I'm fine with it. It's just I'm wondering if 30 foot in this zoning would potentially cause a problem for it being, I don't know. Maybe nobody, well, yeah, we usually look to you guys.
I would put it more in a different perspective.
Okay.
There's a 110-foot water tower immediately at the start of this thing.
Touche. That's fair. So I guess height isn't, I just didn't know if it was like an aerial,
It's
you know,
not in
thing.
the
Okay.
flight plan or
Okay.
anything.
That's brilliant. Thank you. And then you mentioned with the landscaping plan, Jamie, that
Yes.
there is no irrigation, but it's
No.
not needed because of the types of plants? Is that what you were getting at?
So the landscape architect decided to specify plants that were perennials. So once they set, usually in the first 12 months, as long as they're watered,
Okay.
they'll be fine.
Okay.
And then there's minimal maintenance to them after that. And there's a lot of grasses which really require no maintenance besides cutting them down before winter.
Okay. Thank you. That was all the questions I had on this one. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Yednek.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, again, very thorough presentation. You could give a primer to a lot of people to come before us. It'd be nice. You kind of covered all the bases for us. I'm also a fan of the composite fence. You might have been watching my previous comments, so thanks for that on the trash enclosure. I think the wood rots more. The only thing I'm disappointed on is I don't get to vote on a fire pole, but I guess I'll live with that. And other than that, I don't have any other questions. Thanks.
Thank you.
Commissioner Thompson?
No, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful building, so thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Creech?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, gentlemen and lady, wonderful job tonight. Great presentation. Again, I agree with my other chairman, or my other commissioners. The presentation is wonderful, everything that we need. I do have one question about the siding. Are those individual pieces?
So they come as panels. It's not the traditional piece of siding. I believe they're 4x8 or 4x10 panels. So there'll be less seams, and that's why they have that division built into them, because then they can control exactly where that is on the panels. So it's not a traditional lap siding where there's a long 6-inch piece that overlaps another 6-inch piece. So it also should help with installation.
So you are covering a tremendous area especially on the west elevation, and those are 4x8 panels?
Yes, I believe that they are, yes, 4x8. I believe that's correct, based on the manufacturer that we were looking at.
Well, that's for the stone. I'm just.
Panels come the same way, the same manufacturer.
So there's like a tongue and groove on the edges of these panels?
Yes.
So my only concern is when we're looking at your picture or your elevation, we don't see how these seams are going to line up. Because you are actually butting 2 square edges next to each other.
Yes.
There's going to be a seam there. Is that seam going to be staggered? Is it going to go straight up and down? How visible is that seam going to be?
It would go straight up and down. It would just run straight through with the panels. On a lot of the locations, for some reason, I can't get this to go back on the front elevation. But, let me grab that board.
Here, I can do it from here. It's locking up for some.
On a lot of the locations, like here, where we have these, it's the same situation, but we're going to be able to cover.
Well, those are going to be vertical.
They're vertical.
Those are vertical, but.
The same situation. But yes.
Well, yeah, but you already have built into the product that you're going to take care of those, vertical seams, but you're putting a horizontal siding on these other elevations where you're actually going to butt.
Yes.
So you're talking what? I don't have a dimension on here, but.
So there would be seams coming off of it, but they're not really visible. I did not bring a photograph of the.
There's a portable microphone too if you need.
Oh, thank you. I did not bring a photograph of the manufacturer, but the seams are barely visible. I mean, they're very, very slight. This is a common product that's been used recently.
I know this is a very, very popular product, and, I've seen it on a number of buildings that we've been putting up. I've never seen it where you just butt the 2 panels together without a batten over the top of it.
No, I would say probably most of them don't have the battens, just possibly on the corners because of the distance between each
all the other
other.
horizontal siding that I see is like a lap siding. I've never seen these panels put up. So I guess it's just that I've not seen it, I'm not familiar with it. You showed me where there's a groove in each one where I can understand where they would put a spline in there and it would be waterproofing. But my concern was, lining up the grains of the woods and how visible this is going to look. Because, this is a great looking building. You put a lot of time and effort into it. I'm very happy with the design. I was just a little concerned about this. So I guess I'm more concerned about the application of this particular product.
Okay.
But I'm sure that you have this down. Like I said, I'm just concerned about seeing the seams. That's all, because I think that would be unsightly. But if you say they're not there, They're not there. The other concern I had was the composite fence material I see is not a solid composite material. So I was wondering about the durability of that particular product.
I cannot tell you what the warranty is on that product because I did not ask that from the manufacturer, but I know composite normally has a 20-year warranty. I can verify that, and we can use a different product, but
You have that at the...
We have the
warehouse, you
same
said?
product at the garbage enclosure and the generator enclosure at Station 24 on the back of that building. That's now 10 years old, and it looks exactly the same as it went in. The only problem we had initially with that installation was how they put the support columns into the concrete, and there were some adjustments right afterwards. But since then, we've had no shifting, no warping, no anything, any problems with it.
You actually put like stainless steel posts or steel posts
Correct,
into
there's
the
stainless
concrete,
steel that goes
and then you
into...
cover those, and then apply that.
Yeah, that becomes your slatting and everything else that goes in there. The gate is surrounded by an aluminum frame, which has got a solid latch on both of them. Matter of fact, both of those enclosures also currently face east and south, much the same as they would on this building. So it gets the same sun exposure, the same temperature extremes, and the same wind loading.
So you haven't had any trouble with,
No.
especially in the summer, with the excessive heat, possibly because of the direct sunlight, so there's no
None.
issue with that product?
Like I said, we're 10, coming up on 11 years into that structure, and it looks like it was the day it went in. And it's the same material.
All my other questions have been asked and answered, and thank you, gentlemen. Again, nice job. It's a great-looking building.
thank you.
All right, that leads me.
Mr. Chairman, I did think of one other thing.
Yes, go ahead.
It just dawned on me tonight. Usually staff gives us, I just noticed we got the sign, I guess the big 23 is considered a sign. Usually the staff gives us dimensions on the sign, whether it's acceptable within the
Yeah,
tolerances.
this will come back through as a sign for a sign permit.
Separate?
The sign's not being,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why it's not called out,
but
okay. That's it.
chances are it will be a consent item.
Okay, thanks. Sorry to interrupt.
And that leads into a question of mine. Is there any other signage that is going to be out there?
At this time, we have not made a decision. A lot depends on the final layout and the configuration with the large trees to the south here.
Okay.
Which in itself is kind of a restricting factor here on this particular lot. If there is, we will come back for a separate sign permit for that.
Okay. What are you doing during the construction?
Well, you didn't watch the village meeting.
Well, I
got a
have to
good
give
deal.
kudos to Deputy Chief McGrill on this one. He, when this project first started, a lot of the planning was to do this building in phases and try to live out of trailers and a fenced-in yard in order to keep emergency services on that particular side of the tracks and that particular end of the community. Deputy Chief McGrill came up with an idea, pursued it. We are going to be temporarily relocating into the Mabus facility, the former Public Works facility, literally within eyesight of this building, onto the second floor. And over the last 6 weeks, a lot of effort has been made by Public Works and our IT people to set it up for us. And Mabus has graciously provided us that facility for as long as we need it for the construction at no cost. We are only going to house one fire engine there, though, with 3 people. It will be a paramedic-equipped fire engine. And we're going to relocate the ambulance crew to the fire station on Dundee Road during this construction. But as a result of their gracious offer to us, we're able to relocate and actually move ahead with a complete demolition of this project, which should speed up the construction phase by not having to do it in phases, and also should result in some cost savings to the village by not having to do it in phases.
Thank you. Sounds like a good deal all the way around. The other thing I noticed is the radio tower didn't get located on any of the plans. Where is that going to fall in? I assume it's right up against the back of the building.
That radio tower is the same age as the building. It will be scrapped as part of this project. And if there is any radio antenna, it will be a very short radio whip that's on a corner of the building, much like a mobile radio antenna.
Don't need the
We are
big
not
tower.
going to be putting a full-fledged antenna at this location. Technology's changed, needs have changed.
Relocated to the Historic Museum, maybe.
That's all I had. Everything else has been answered. Any last comments from the commission? Nope. Then I guess we will work on a motion for each one individually. So first we have 2019-27A, which is the special use. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Got Commissioner Sprague. Do you vote yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Blanova?
Yes.
Commissioner Kalis votes yes. Commissioner Yednick?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes.
7 yeses.
2019-27B, the variation to reduce building setback from 35 to 30.
So moved.
Second?
You got it?
Commissioner Kalis votes yes. Commissioner Blanova?
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague?
Yes.
Commissioner Yednick?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes. 2019-27C, the variation to increase the maximum building height from 30 to 33 feet.
So moved.
Second?
Keep going with it. Commissioner Kalis votes yes. Commissioner Blanova?
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague?
Yes.
Commissioner Yednick?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes.
7.
Are there any conditions on 19-24?
No.
Okay. Docket 19-24, the major site plan and appearance review. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Commissioner Sprague?
Yes.
Commissioner Yednick?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanova?
Yes.
Commissioner Kalis votes yes. Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
And Chairman Johnson?
Yes.
Right.
Glad we could finally get you here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There was a few delays in doing that.
Thank you. Jamie, what is the name of, is that the Nature's?
Yes.
And there's some paperwork, of course.
Yeah, Chief, we need you to sign some. So
After
then
we get
we'll
done.
Get you on the 3rd. Yeah.
Chief, yes.
Even like this one.
Yep.
See how that is?
Sorry for all the delays in getting you here.
This is gonna be like all over the place. I saw it
But
before
when you
that.
have a nice complete package like this, it does make things
See
easier.
how that is? Some of these other, they try and make it that they're 8 foot.
That's right, there's 4 things.
But yeah, but some of these other ones that,
It's like buying a car.
Yeah.
some of them.
It's more like buying a house. This one.
All right.
One more. The bottom one I had.
Look at that.
Yeah. Which would go on.
See, there's a difference in
On top. I was just stacking them.
panel to panel like that.
So, and you keep
No, it's
a
not.
copy of
This
each,
is how
so.
these are gonna come out. I know that these are gonna come out like that.
Don't forget to close the public
Yep. Need a motion to close the public hearing?
Next page.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Yednick, Commissioner Kalis? All in favor?
Aye.
So there's,
Got a couple of extensions.
Should we move on? signing. Oh, we're just gonna make a motion on this anyways. Let's see, next on the list is dockets number 2019-26 A and B, and docket PC 19-23 for the Westin Outlet Lot B. This is going to have to be continued again, and we are going to continue it to the February 12th meeting.
Yes.
And hopefully they will have something to present at that time. So, I need a motion to continue to February 12th.
Let's do
Each one individually?
each one because they're different public hearings.
Okay. So, on 2019-26A, motion to continue to February 12th.
So moved.
Second.
Do we need roll call or can
Yes, roll call.
roll call on that?
Commissioner Sprague.
Yes.
Commissioner Yednick.
Yes.
Commissioner Blanova.
Yes.
Commissioner Kayla votes yes. Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Creech.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. And 2019-26B for the special use for a sit-down restaurant, also to be continued to the February 12th meeting. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thompson?
Commissioner Yednick.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Blanova.
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague.
Yes.
Commissioner Kayla votes yes. Commissioner Creech.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. And finally, docket number PC 19-23, again, the Westin Outlet for the major site plan and appearance approval. Need a motion to continue to February 12th.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kayla votes yes. Commissioner Sprague.
Yes.
Commissioner Blanova.
Yes.
Commissioner Yednick.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Creech.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. Okay. Next, we have approval of minutes of the regular meeting of December 19th, 2019, which includes the findings of fact for 2019-25 and 2019-26, and January 8th, including findings of fact for docket number 2019-25. Motion to approve?
I sent one correction. Is that taken care of?
Yes, that was
Okay.
taken care of. It was just a correction in a name.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kayla, is this a roll call? Yeah. Yeah. Commissioner Kayla votes yes. Commissioner, what's that?
You started, go ahead.
Okay. Commissioner Sprague.
Yes.
Commissioner Blanova.
Yeah.
Minutes. Okay. Commissioner Yednick.
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Creech.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I did have a correction on the packet for the fire station, just a minor thing. See if I can find it again. In the landscaping paragraph, it mentions east side of the parking lot facing Dundee Road.
Oh. That's impossible.
The housekeeping thing.
All right, thank you.
Forgot to mention that. Okay, other business. Commissioner Blanova, anything?
No, nothing, thank you.
Commissioner Sprague?
I have nothing, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Kalis?
Nothing tonight. Thank you.
Commissioner Yednick?
Nothing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Thompson?
Nothing, thank you.
Commissioner Creech?
It's an empty bucket. Nobody has anything tonight.
I guess so. Yeah, I have nothing as well. Anything from our fire inspector, engineering, anything? Okay. Marcy, anything else?
I have nothing.
Anything about what's coming up or?
Well, at our next meeting, we are going to discuss trash enclosures.
Nice.
Looking
Make
forward
sure
to that,
you-
huh?
How
Make that
exciting.
meeting.
How
Are we going to have
exciting.
samples?
Yes,
Of course we are.
yes.
Samples of trash or samples of enclosures?
Maybe we'll take a tour. All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Chief.